And we're live, I guess. You guys in the chat, can you guys hear me? Sorry for the kind of awful video quality. I'm using my webcam instead of my filming camera because of technical reasons. Yeah, so let me know if you can hear me. Yes. Okay, hopefully that means yes, you can hear me. I got a good microphone. I just don't have my best camera today. Sorry. My good camera is not really designed for live stuff. And I got my network kind of stripped down so that I have all my networking equipment to test with the gateway. So, wow, it's weird looking at me with like a 10-second delay on YouTube. The chair is quite loud. Oh, I'm very sorry. I need to grease it. It's been like that for a while. Let me move the mic over there. I apologize for the chair. I've been fighting it for a long time. Let's see. How can I get the chat on the sidebar? My mouse also kind of hates this. Can I pop out chat? There we go. Okay, we got pop out chat. We got OBS. That's perfect. Okay. Well, let's chat on the other side. It's not quite perfect. Getting there. Okay, hello everyone. So today I'm going to test the Mono Gateway. It arrived to me yesterday from Slovenia. And I have here on the table and up on my shelf over there a wide assortment of network equipment I can test it with. I'll probably put my chat keyboard away. I have too much stuff in this room. It's way too full. I got a jerky box that's just act as a mouse pad because this mouse is stupid sometimes. Put the other mouse there, and my laptop in case, I mean, we're going to need a lot of stuff on the laptop. I got some drinks because I'm planning on being here for hours. And I guess the first thing is the unboxing experience, right? Should I bring you guys a little bit close up for the unboxing? So here is the box. So it came in a shipping box, and I already opened that, obviously, but I haven't opened this box yet. So I didn't even peek inside. So you're going to be first to go with me. So I actually pre-ordered it from the US, so I got emails throughout the whole US campaign, and I wanted to order it so bad, and then once the site finally let me order it in the EU, I did, and then obviously didn't ship because of the whole VAT issue, and I was pretty sure I messed up his ordering system pretty badly because I stopped getting emails from him at that point, but it came through. So this was ready, dropped off at my door. Not literally, it came to the supermarket, but yeah. So my number was, I think my number was 59. Let me check on that. I put it in the Mono Discord. What did I, oh man, someone just included my video on the Mono Discord. Yeah, number 59. So my pre-order number was 59. So I was on top of this thing. I paid full price. So I might have got a discount on VAT because I ordered it from the US order list. I'm not sure if he just ate the VAT on that or what. But yeah, so here's this. I'm going to put my drinks aside, see if I can bring you guys up a little bit closer. Get some of my accessories for testing out of the way. Okay, come on over here, guys. We're going to try some top-down view. That looks kind of weird. I got it all tangled up. Yep. Okay, now we're untangled. The serial number is probably not 59 because the serial number, they would have shipped all the US orders first. Okay, so go down. Come on. Okay. Good enough. Okay. So, here is the box. There's another box inside. Okay, so I got a mono sticker. Neat. This is going to be the unit itself. Oh, feels very impressive. What did I drop? Europlug cable. So I'll need that, of course. Put the box away. I wish I had serial number 59. That would be super cool. Okay, so what's in the box? I don't exactly know how to unfold this. Power brick. And the unit itself. Look at that. Get it out of here. So, power brick. Fancy USB cable. And very fancy Type-C power supply. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I call this ASMR. It's kind of loud, but this feels empty. I think it is empty. Hopefully the mic wasn't too loud for that drop there. Ooh, this is quite a thing. So this is like a sewn bag to try to give you guys some idea of how nice this feels. And here it is, the mono gateway. You can see my own. That's the light. See if I can. Yeah, can you see my face and the reflection there? That's me. This is really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here. I guess I can give you guys a up close at it. So this is not my favorite camera, but so for those of you that haven't followed Tomaž, this is the mono gateway. So on the back side we've got the I/O, 2 10 gigabit Ethernet, 3 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, 3 Type-Cs. One of these is power, one of these is console, so it's an RJ or a serial chip, and the third one is data, and that's the reset button. What serial number do I have? So I have serial number 509. And then he listed out the MAC addresses, manufactured and designed and manufactured in Europe. That's kind of looks like a J. Okay, so I thought they were 2.5 for some reason. Well, I guess we'll figure it out. So anyway, I got that guy on the table. Now I'm going to back you guys back up so I can sit down. Okay. Okay. Back up. Back up. Hello. 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 Okay, good enough. Okay, so I'm going to be using this. Apologize, the microphone fell. So the microphone just sits on top of the TV. And it fell because I have a whole mess of cables over there that you guys can't see. So for testing today, I have a number of things for your entertainment. I guess I'll get rid of the nice bag it came in. Also go in my junk pile. So these are all SFP modules. All of these trays aren't full. I just have them sorted so that I can keep them sane. So I can do 10 gig to the closet. In the closet I got a Proxmox system, so we can set up whatever you want to do. Get rid of this little bag. I got this guy out. So this is 10 gig Thunderbolt. So this will go to my Mac. And this is fiber to my MikroTik switch in the closet. That will give me 10 gig to the Proxmox system. So I can hook these two guys up together. This guy into one 10 gig and this adapter into my other 10 gig. And do 10 gig throughput testing if I need to. Also, if I want to get them out, I have the option of bringing out a 2.5 gig dongle for my laptop. I also have a couple mini PCs up on the shelf I can dig down if I need to. I would rather not because I'm using my ladder to hold up the TV that I'm watching you guys on. Okay, so I guess let's boot it up. Should I watch, should I read any instructions or anything? Let's see. Does he actually have, like... I've not read any of the instructions yet. Getting started. Okay, getting started. I'm going to pull you guys over into Safari. So I always do all of my screen capture in Safari because I have my Firefox set up all nice how I like it. And if I show you guys Safari, you won't see all my bookmarks and stuff. So I think I can switch to this. What the hell happened? Why did you go blank? Huh. I thought my screen capture setup was working. Am I going to use the US KVM? No, I don't actually think I need a KVM for this. This just has a console output. I just got to get the capture to my laptop, which I was doing over the network, and it worked until my laptop went to sleep, and then it stopped working. So we're going to come back. Okay. Yes, yes, you. Come on. Share entire screen. Okay, let's see if that works. There we go. Okay. So, you guys can see me in the corner. I got the mono gateway here. You are right, it is 1 gig. Sorry about that. I'm going to have this hooked up probably with one of the 1 gig ports to my cable internet and one of the 10 gig ports to my MikroTik. Probably just those 2 ports, to be honest. I'll probably just use the other ones for lab stuff. I don't have internet that can, I only have 300 megabit internet because there's no point for me buying more, because what I really need is more upload, and the best I can get over cable is like 30 megabits, so I already get that on the plan I have, so it'd be pointless to pay for more. Oh yeah, speaking of Friday the 13th, I just adopted a cat last week. So if you want to see my new cat, there's pictures of him on Mastodon. And he is a black cat. Not only is he a black cat, but he's very Finnish. He is not really into socializing. He likes to social distance, and he loves sauna. Cable. You can get surge protectors for cable. Oh, I don't have any more power outlets. The struggle. Get in there. Yeah, so being a black cat, you cannot find him if he does not want to be found. Okay, so I got power, and I got Okay, ports on the back of the device and the first boot procedure. Okay, so I got 3. Yeah, I love watching the dev videos on this too. So I actually, well, yeah, I enjoyed the dev videos too. So I got 3 Type-Cs, power, data, and serial. I should probably get a cable to plug into the serial port. I'm going to guess that's going to be useful to me. Yeah. This is just a USB 2 cable. So I'll plug that in there. How's my laptop doing for battery? Probably should plug that in too. Okay, so we'll get serial hooked up to the serial port. I'm not going to plug power until I'm ready. TO. Oh yeah. Let me get some other terminals set up. Shut up. Okay, that's neat. No, you don't need a serial adapter. So they have USB to serial chip on board hooked up to the USB serial port. And the serial chip is powered by the USB serial USB port. So when I plug my computer in, the USB serial chip powers up, speaks to my computer. And it looks like they actually have it showing up as TTY debug console, which is cool. Well, maybe not TTY debug console. TTY USB serial DK. Okay, I'll show you guys. Yeah, super handy. So it is this guy here, TTY USB serial DK, blah, 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 blah. They want me to use TO and dev. I'll just copy and paste this. TTY dot USB serial DK, blah, blah, blah. We have TO. Screen. Hello. Okay. You should now see the output from the device. Yeah, so in this case, doing USB serial means this interface is native USB 2. So we're not doing any funny business with the USB pinout. It's just USB 2 with a serial chip on board. And I think that makes a lot more sense to me than abusing a USB Type-C port to put raw UART on it or RS-232 or something. So I personally would like to see that or the RJ45 console. Either one of those. Okay. This is so beautiful. I'll tip it up so you guys can see it. Are we getting output? Oh, our baud rate is wrong. Our baud rate is very wrong. Shut up. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay, what's our baud rate supposed to be? What is the command to even change baud rate on screen? Screen import name baud rate. Okay. How do I get out? Just close the terminal. And 115, 200, sound right? Let's try it. Okay. What's wrong with you? I don't have Minicam either. Okay, it's mad about double slash because I copy and pasted wrong. Resource busy. Ah, shit. Switch you guys over to camera view so you don't watch me goof around here. How did you get it? It came in the mail. Okay, that's better. I do not work with serial ports on the daily basis. What the fuck are you doing, Windows? Get out of here. Okay. There we go. It's booting up. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up in the OpenWRT system or the recovery console. I guess I could check the documentation and see. OpenWRT on EMC. Press any key, interrupt the countdown, drop your reboot. Okay. Okay. So not exactly Kickstarter. They did their own pre-order campaign for $100. So far I've had this router out of the box for about 10 minutes. So I wouldn't say I have strong opinions yet, but I've been following Tomaž on his whole journey, so I've enjoyed watching him for sure. Okay, so due to the bug not having GUI installed, we should boot into recovery. So we're gonna reboot. Oh, I can't reach the reset button. You're not poking it. Where did I put my pokey tools? Okay. So I want to run recovery. There we go. Recovery login. We are at Recovery Linux 1.0. Hopefully that's not actually Linux 1.0. What is the default user's root with my password? Okay. So I actually don't have anything hooked up. So I probably, should I, I'll ask you guys, should I go ahead, I should probably go ahead with their OpenWRT and try that first, right, before I go on to the fancier stuff. I mean, in theory, I could just route with the recovery, but that doesn't have the ASK installed or stuff like that. I'm going to do their firmware update over RJ45. Where do I have a cable? Okay, so we got Ethernet. This is just going to my router in the closet. It's nothing fancy. Okay, so IP6 tunnel sit. No carrier. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got a v6 address. What's the chance that okay, well, we have not a lot of tools to work with, but we're going to try what's that sound? Could not resolve host. Okay. Okay, so the recovery image. Oh, shit, I spelled it wrong. I don't have nano. Fun. Name server. And you're going to overwrite resolve.conf. That looks like valid. Could not connect to server. I'm not going to try VI. So they're suggesting adding IPv4. I would need to add that on my own local network, which is okay. So they don't have any quad A records for their monitor.si. So I do need an IPv4 address to download, or I need NAT64. So I am on the 192.168.0. Why are you making noises sometimes? It's very weird, you know. Not actually sure if it's this, but it sounded like I was made a click. Okay. Downloading the image. Done. Okay. So then they want me to gunzip it. Then DD it. Screw the top a tiny bit. Yeah, I could do that. It's probably what it is. So it looks like a T. Do I actually have a bit that big? Oh yeah, I do. T10? Yep. Oh, you are so incredibly tight. Oh wow, that was so tight. Okay. Ugh. Oh, DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean gives you, not only do they not provision IPv6, but even when you get 16 addresses. They give you a /124. Like, how do you even IPv6 with a /124? Okay, so loosen those up a little bit. DD has happened. Now we will reboot. Oh, should I make a... I can use recovery to reinstall. I'm going to say, should I image the system to Proxmox backup? But I don't need to. Yeah, so I definitely will have NAT64 running, So back in the US, when I lived in the US, I had NAT64 on my network with Taiga, and it worked great in OpenSense. So when I get my proper network set up here, I'm going to have that. But currently I have the router from my ISP. I'm trying to convince the housing association that it's worth an extra €6 a month to install real fiber instead of fiber to the node coax, because they want to pay for that. It'd be €100 per unit to have that installed, which is nothing. And that would get us what we have now, but a cheaper price per month, because we'd be in a contract for 5 units. But they don't want to pay the extra premium for real fiber, which would give us the option to go up to, I think this provider goes up to 2 gigs symmetric. I know it's literally nothing. All of the other houses in this unit literally tether to their phone to watch TV. I don't understand how people do that, but apparently it's wildly popular here to just tether to your phone with 5G, with unlimited 5G data. And so even paying like €10 a month for cable versus 15 for fiber is like high to them. Who's texting me? Oh, okay. Apparently I'm not allowed to rant about the neighbors. Sorry. Okay, so now, yeah, looks like we have OpenWRT. Ooh, yeah, OpenWRT switched to APK. I love that. Did you try VPP? I have literally not tried anything yet. I just booted it up. So I'm 29 minutes in. I spent 10 minutes unboxing this thing, and then another bit of time trying to get my serial port set up on macOS. So I have literally just gotten in. Oh my. Okay, so it seems to have configured E4, which is an SFP port. Oh, I bet the default config has 2 SFPs. Germany had to pay €70. Yeah, so I'm paying €30 a month now for 300/25 cable, and I thought that was a pretty reasonable price. I think the fiber company without a contract is maybe like 40, but if the whole association goes on a 5-year contract and pays for the installation, which is an extra €5 a month spread out over the 5 years, it's quite cheap in that 5-unit deal. I just want more upload because, as you guys know, I upload videos to YouTube, and with 25 megabit upload, it is wild. It's like really, really slow. Okay, so it looks like the default OpenWRT is set up with, who is on BRLAN? BRLAN has ETH012. Oh no, you're going to mess up my big network. IPA. So it looks like their default is to use, what the hell are they defaulting with? I don't know. I'll go back and read the instructions. Okay, so I got this unplugged so it doesn't mess up the rest of my network. I need to now get USB Ethernet. Where did I leave that? I'm gonna go find it. Okay, so this is USB Ethernet. It's not the best NIC. It kind of struggles sometimes to actually hit gigabit without dropping packets, but I am not going to be doing heavy testing with this USB NIC. It's not €8 for 1 gig symmetric. It's €8 for 100 meg symmetric, but that is part of the, or it's not €8 either. It's €10 plus €5 a month for installation, so €15. And that is 100 meg symmetric, with the option to pay extra to get to a higher tier. But that's the 15 euros part of the association. So I think my actual cost for, it'd be a lot more for me, but not like 70 like the Germans. Okay, so let's see if we get 192.168.1.1. Great. Great. Oh, I probably have my network adapter set up weird. Network. I'll turn you guys off so you don't see all my settings. No, you're set up right. Yeah, so the default OpenWRT config does ULAs, which is very odd. No, it should totally work. 192.168.1.1. Oh, Safari defaults to HTTPS. That's the problem. Okay, so it is actually just is my username root with no password? Yes. We're going to keep it that way so I don't forget it. Okay, so that has come up. Should we update? Probably should see if there's any updates. Where's that? Software. Updates. Do you have like a web terminal? Automatic cert provisioning. I would bet OpenWRT doesn't. They don't seem to like having like modern features. How does one check for updates? Update lists. Okay, there we go. Oh, I don't have internet, of course. Okay. What IPKVM? IP Jet KVM and USB Sidetrans Kiwi. Okay, this is never going to finish because I don't have internet. So I need internet. So I need interfaces LAN. LAN 2. Why the hell is there LAN and LAN 2? OpenWRT is always weird to me. Devices. How do I take you out of BRLAN? So I'm going to take ETH2 out of BRLAN. Save. Okay, so this guy's going to go into ETH2 now. Now I need to configure ETH2. You're going to be automatic disabled. What the fuck is that? And device options. Okay, so now you're up. So now I put you on ETH2. We'll put WAN 6 on ETH2. Save and apply. I think I mentioned before that I don't really like OpenWRT. I feel like their web UI is not very good, and because so many companies rely on OpenWRT but make their own web UI, there's not a lot of motivation to backport a good web UI. And my third problem with OpenWRT is that they're so focused on running on low memory devices that they don't include sensible default packages. So like OpenSense has a lot of pretty good packages like for a wide variety of things. And OpenWRT, like a base install, can't do anything because they're so focused on low memory. And I get that they want to do builds with low memory, but like this thing has 8 gigs of RAM. They shouldn't be packaging it with like such a minimal Like, they should be packaging more stuff with most builds, I think. And I find that their UI is confusing. Like, why do I have WAN and WAN 6? Why can't I configure them together? Network. How are you guys doing? Okay, so you got an address, and you got an address. Great. Did you get a prefix delegation on WAN 6? Did you request one? You're supposed to request a... Okay. Okay, what do we get? How do I see what prefix I got? Overview? No. Oh, because it's multi-WAN. Get out of here, multi-WAN. I don't care about you. I know 8 gigs of RAM in this economy. You're enabled, right? You're enabled. Okay. Okay, so this... Well, we'll have you ask for a /59. Custom 59, because I happen to know that will work. Prefix shows when you assign it to the LAN port. Okay, so there's just no way of seeing it. That seems like a UI bug. But okay. IPv6 address. Protocol static address. At a minimum, I can update software now because I have the internet. Update lists. Yeah, see, OpenWRT just doesn't feel easy to navigate and use to me. Like, the UI seems like it's a very thin layer on top of Linux, which is nice, I guess, if you're really into that, but it could be laid out in a much more logical way to group all the stuff that goes together. Like in OpenSense, you put a lot of the interface config in the interface config. You're not going all over the hell. Winbox. Winbox, I think, is really easy to navigate. I know some people hate it, but I am... What the fuck? Operation not permitted. How does that even happen? Also, I guess we're going to go back to, where is my terminal? There it is. They're running a local resolver. Yeah, so MikroTik has this very consistent logic across all of their UI, like their web UI, their console, Winbox, CLI, all of that follows the same structure. So it's not like you're looking in different places in the web UI or in the... Yeah, so am I missing DNS servers? I don't know. I expected it would get it from DHCP, you know? At least by default. But maybe not. 4 words. Okay, so it's just not using resolve.conf. It has its own file which got the stuff from DHCP. Okay, so it does. .org. I also have no dig. Do I have drill? Let's see. Don't have drill. Yes. Okay. Timed out. No servers could be reached. The fuck is that a bad address? Okay, we'll try 99999. Okay. You work. You don't work. What is wrong with you? Oh, I see. It's not that there's no default route. It's that there's an overlap in IPv4 subnets. So the default config has 2 LANs, 192.168.1 and 192.168.0. And then my own LAN is also 192.168.0. And so it's not able to route to the correct LAN because of overlapping subnets. So I need to delete LAN 2. Oh, hi Jeff. Jeff's a cool guy, by the way. I don't have his shirt on today, but I wear his shirt a lot. No idea how many people. I should probably check and see how many people are watching my stream. What do I got? I got 161 views. Not bad. Okay, so now I should have resolved the overlapping subnet problem. So if I ping you, okay, that worked. So 0.3 is my DHCP server, and that's working. So great. Yeah, so that was the problem, overlapping. So now that that's fixed, I should be able to APK update. Maybe? Okay, yeah, that was good. It does support OpenSense on ARM, and Tomaž has been working with, I'm trying to think of the guy's name, one of the OpenSense contributors, but not Franco, to get this working, and they've gotten the build working. They don't have hardware offloading, I believe, but they do have OpenWRT or OpenSense working. Okay, so now that we've figured that problem out, let's go and try it from the web UI. Oh, Jeff is procrastinating. OpenSense works on ARM, yes. So FreeBSD works on ARM, and nothing on OpenSense is terribly specific to ARM. So generally, who's messaging me? Duolingo. Duolingo's messaging me. Okay, so what updates do we have available? Can I just say upgrade all of them? Is there like an all button? Do I have to click on each of these? Can I just go APK? Yeah, there we go. What is your top firewall? It depends on what feature set you want. So if you just want a basic setup, or you care a lot more about like routing performance, MikroTik is an excellent value. They're not going to go as deep into the like next-gen firewall stuff. OpenSense has a lot of plugins that can get you pretty far for an open source package. I really like that. I'm not a huge fan of FreeBSD, to be honest, especially because the hardware support is not as good as Linux on a lot of network cards, which is unfortunate because OpenSense is fantastic otherwise. They did not open source the driver blobs as far as I know. Okay, so we updated packages. No dig. Is it DNS utils? What's it called on Alpine? What package provides drill? Drill. Okay. Nano. What package provides dig in case I do that from memory? Bind tools. Okay. There we go. Yes, Maurice. He's also the guy that merges all of my Taiga updates into OpenSense. Great guy. That's mostly true, but I believe Intel has done some of their own drivers for FreeBSD. Yeah, okay. Ooh, I wonder what version... Oh, I shouldn't be looking at Alpine. Oh, is OpenWRT pulling from Alpine repos now? I know they pulled APK from Alpine. Available. No, they have their own repo still. Search for Taiga. Taiga, so they're currently running 0.9.5 R1. Not a bad version. Yeah, hi Maurice. Okay. I would like it if OpenWRT switched to Alpine repos for some things, at least for basic stuff. Because they already exist and they're really good. Okay, so what do we want to do first? So now I got the system booted and updated. So that's the first step. What do we want to try next? I'll let you guys chat for a little bit in the chat. Switch back to my face, I guess. Hello, everyone. eBPF programs for high performance. We're not installing any other operating system yet. I'm going to stick with OpenWRT because this is the official release from Mono, and I want to do more hardware type testing. No, I'm not going to set a password either because I'm going to forget it, and I like not forgetting passwords on all of the devices that I test once or twice. OpenClaw. We're not going to use OpenClaw either. eBPF programs for high performance. Yes, that can help if you have a workload that optimizes well. If you have a specific network workload, writing an eBPF program to implement that workload can be very helpful. Linux kernel has a whole bunch of networking features that a wide variety of people use for different things. So, NAT throughput test. I'll do NAT throughput test, yeah. So let's see, what am I going to do for that? I need some hardware. Probably should bring up, oops, don't knock that over. Probably should bring up the 10 gig interface. Okay. So what are my networks? So I'm going to leave, so I got E1 and 2 on bridge LAN. I got E3 on WAN. So I'm going to move ETH5, the last one, to be WAN. I'm going to hook that up to, it's upside down, of course it is. I'm going to hook that up to my switch in the closet via fiber, because I love fiber. So let's go here, ETH4, and we're going to set you up to be ETH4 instead of ETH2 for both V4 and V6. Okay, save that. Make sure that works. I wouldn't say it's just a fancy ARM V8. It also has some hardware offload capabilities in the Layerscape CPU. So, what SFP modules? This guy today is a FS.com 10 gig LR basic transceiver. If you guys want me to try some other transceivers, I got a whole box of them over here. So here's my transceiver stash. Once I make sure this is connecting to WAN over SFP, I'm going to do 10 gig LAN to my laptop, which I should probably figure out how to get... Yeah, okay. So, looking through my transceiver stash, these are my BiDi, so I could use a BiDi. That's empty. I have 10 gig LRM, or what do I have pairs of? 10 gig LRM or 10 gig BX. GPON. I don't have a GPON. I have a GPON setup. It is not currently assembled, and I'm not going to do it on the stream today. Let's see. So we're going to use the. Let's see what what fibers I've got. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Okay, so opinion, guys. 10 gig. Why the fuck am I out of focus? Come on, focus. Bye, Jeff. SFP direct attach. This is, what is this? It's a 10 gig. Or LRM single mode fiber. Which would you guys rather see me hook up for LAN? Just going to procrastinate more. Direct attach, okay. So put the transceivers away, and go direct attach. Put the fiber away. So this is a 10G Tech, 10G SFP direct attach. Got it. I'm going to be using direct attach 2 probably. Oh, get out of here, Windows. Stop it. I'm going to be using direct attach 2 probably to go to my switch. So we got this. It's upside down. Of course it is. I'm going to lose my serial because I don't have USB ports on my Mac. Let's see if I can add ETH. So I got ETH 0, 1, 3. Those are the ones I want. ETH 3. On my bridge, save and apply. So in theory, I can unplug the gigabit and plug in the 10 gigabit, and we will have 10 gig. Yeah, I know I have no password. Shut up. Let's switch back if we have to. Okay, so this is my 10 gig adapter for my Mac. When do you think the router will get official support from OpenWRT? I don't know if OpenWRT will ever want to take on the hardware offload unless the hardware offload gets merged upstream. I know Mono would like to merge upstream the hardware offload, but they're limited in what NXP will let them do, which, having dealt with NXP professionally, I know that's a massive pain in the ass. Yeah. I'm not terribly concerned given that the ASK hardware offload stuff is mostly open source. IPv4 server at full 10 gig. Let's try that. Well, first of all, am I still connected? Yes, I am. Okay, so 10 gig is working now. And I also have the serial terminal. Let's try adding SSH to that. Root at 192.168.1.1. It's the command to delete someone from SSH keygen. I don't have internet. Great. Great. I want to turn off Wi-Fi so that I'm only connected through this thing. You're doing NAT, right? Are you? Could someone in the chat post the SSH keygen command? My known host file is like 400 lines long. There is an SSH keygen command to remove something from the host file. It is -r. Okay. Oh, I forgot to switch you guys back over. Shit. Why did you go away? Come back. Oh, because you lost... Oh, no. Okay. So I lost my stream of my laptop because my laptop lost the internet because it's connected through this thing. There we go. Okay. See if this comes back. Yep. You should have come back now. Okay. Why is it not coming back? It's very frustrating. Okay, I want to not load routes from the 10 gig. It's preferring the 10 gig interface, which makes sense. Except, can't get to the internet. So I should probably fix that first. Why can I not get to the internet? Are you doing NAT? Routing. Yeah, this is fun. Guess I'll switch you back here. Okay, so the problem I have now is my laptop can't stream its own display to the streaming computer because the laptop lost internet. So we need to get the internet back on the laptop through the mono gateway. Hope I'm putting my hand over the fan. So I need to figure out why the internet's not working. Would it be under firewall? Is that where NAT rules are? Yes. Okay, we don't have a NAT rule. So we need to do v4 only, protocol any, outbound zone WAN, action masquerade. Yeah, dual stack should be running. It's not. The default config is weird. Yes. Okay, so it didn't have a default NAT rule for v4. So that's why IPv4 didn't work. So now destination net unreachable. Okay, so it's not getting, something's messed up. Oh, the WAN didn't come up. That's the problem. Is the interface not configured? ETH2, you're configured. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this so we won't have, well, I'm going to go back to Gateway because it seemed to not cause any problems there. Then we're going to keep playing with it without the 10 gig hooked up. So now I should have internet again, which means I should be able to switch back to here. No, I still can't. Come on, come on. What is wrong with you? Network. Somehow it's taking... Yeah. Details. DNS. Okay, it's probably taking DNS and that's what's messing it up. It's not just DNS. There's more to it. So we're going to unplug network entirely. That way you can establish your connection. We can get my streaming back up. Share entire screen. There we go. Okay. So now that's working again. There are some 10 gig adapters that I've seen that come out that are about half the size of this. This is the smallest one I have that's Thunderbolt. So there's a new, probably Realtek chip that does USB 3.2, I think. 10 gig copper, which is cool. Okay, so we're just in the command line now. What's going on? So ETH4 did not connect. Why did it not connect? Grab ETH4. Oh! It's not Taiga. I think there's a bug. I remember reading this on the Mono group, that it only enumerates SFP modules at boot time currently, and they're working on fixing that. So I should reboot. And then it should re-enumerate the SFP modules that I hot plugged. Yeah, so I would love to see a slim 10 gig one yet. I haven't found, they don't seem that reputable to me yet, I guess. So there's companies that make Thunderbolt ones that they've been on the market for a while and they have some good reviews. I haven't seen like a name brand to make a 10 gig USB one that's not Thunderbolt, so. But I am on the lookout. How are you doing? Yeah, there we go. Okay, you're up. So now that you're up, okay, so now it's working too. I hate how I keep mixing up the commands between the two tables. IP tables, Oh shit, I can't scroll because I'm in a serial terminal. Okay, switching back to 10 gig. Okay, there is no NAT rules and IP tables. That means they must be in NF tables. NF teacher rule set also doesn't work, so... Okay, switching to 10 gig direct attach. Let's see. Wonder if the DAC will actually have a problem coming up because it won't enumerate. Let's see. So... Okay, no, it came up fine. DAC came up fine. Log in. Okay, so we're up now. So I'm going to do a really dangerous thing and turn off Wi-Fi. So let's see if my capture remains, which means my screen capture on the laptop will go through the mono for the rest of the stream. Dangerous, I know. And it already broke. Okay. I'll try reloading it. Oh, we're back. Okay. So now I got the screen cap going through the mono. So, if I come here, and we're going to SSH. Okay, so now I have SSH open, so I don't have to keep using the serial terminal. How are you sending your video feed? I'm using a tool called Video Ninja. It's like a website, but it's entirely based on WebRTC, so it's like a web tool to do like screen sharing, and then in OBS you set it up as a web source, and each of the individual users get like a randomly generated web source. It works super well. It relies entirely on WebRTC, so you're never going to be proxying through their servers. If it can't do a WebRTC direct connection, it just won't work. So that's how they're able to do it for free, I believe. I don't have any issues with it. I like it. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. But it means I have to be able to connect to the internet. When I did a live stream in the past, I was smart enough to hook up DisplayPort for my laptop to capture that. But then I would lose one of my USB ports, and I can't afford that today. I need both of them. So, okay, so we're into OpenWRT in SSH. So now we have scrolling, which is great. So next step is IPv4. So we're going to take this address and IPv4 it. Oh, I need to start the service. Doesn't start automatically. That's not 10 gigabits. How do I make you launch in the background? Can you daemon yourself, or do I have to figure out what the hell OpenWRT uses as a system? My Mac? I have an M1 Air 16 gig. And oh yeah, I'm not going to be upgrading this thing for a couple more years, I don't think, as long as the battery still works. I've had it now for... I bought it less than 6 months after the... if it came out. And... are all the cracking noises? A lot of them come from the chair. Is this all CLI based? No, there is a GUI. It's the OpenWRT GUI, so it's not that good. I mean, it works, but I don't like it. That's why I'm IPv4. You have a daemon option. You do have a daemon option. Okay. S minus D, and then we'll run top. So we'll see what our load is. And so we're going to do client, we're going to do one stream, and we're going to do T300. Okay, so what is losing our CPU here? So you're getting 1.73 gigabits. And we're using soft IRQD. That makes a lot of sense. So it looks like we pegged one core with interrupts. This is a quad core, so 24% means we pegged one core. So what if I do N8? It's N, right? P. Big P. Same, 1.67. What are we hitting now? Okay, soft IRQD again. So let's try going through instead of pinning core. So we're going to go to, I don't have IPv6 working. I got to fix that. Because my Proxmox server doesn't have a v4 address. Actually it does, I just don't have it in DNS, so let's type it manually. I think it's 0.2. There we go, okay. So forwarding, routing, so we're doing NAT routing. We're getting 9.4 gigabits here to the server in the closet over iPerf, and top is showing literally nothing. So this must have been hardware offloaded. So this is going through NAT, v4 NAT. Nice, okay. And we'll do BIDIR. So I should be able to saturate this, not quite saturating. Okay, so we got 9.3 gig and 4.7 gig. So that means that this is like a 15 gigabit router-ish. Doing NAT. And again, we're not putting any load at all on the CPU. It's all done on hardware. Super nice. Okay. So let's see if the hardware can do better when we get IPv6 involved, because then it doesn't have to do NAT. So WAN 6 came up, and it should be able to get a prefix delegation from my router. So I get a /56 from my ISP Elisa, and then the ISP router gives /59s, takes the first for itself, and it uses one for the guest network and one for the main network, and then it gives the other /59s away. So I'm going to switch you over here and make sure I have that feature enabled on my router, but I don't want you to see me logging into my router. What time is it? Oh, I've been live streaming now for an hour and a half. Cool. Yeah, that sounds about right to me, what they got. I mean, you can't really get more than 20 gigs through two 10 gig ports. And realistically, as a home router, you're not going to be saturating the upload like you are the download. So if I bought this as a 10 gig home router, I would be very happy to get 18 gigabits out of it, personally. So do I have DHCP? So my ISP router that gives out DHCP v6, it just has one checkbox for DHCP v6, and that turns on and off the whole thing. So I can't set prefix delegation separately from... Yeah, I'm guessing it is the megapacket rate. Okay, connection. LAN. Okay, I have DHCP turned on, so prefix delegation should work. So coming back over, where am I now? Okay, coming back to OpenWRT. So why are you not getting prefix delegation? Try automatic. DHCP v6 client, advanced settings. I don't know where to see what my prefix delegation result was. I know where to find it in OpenSense, and it's very easy there. But why am I not finding my system? Network interfaces? No. IPv6 prefix filter on the LAN settings. So what do I put in this box? Oh, in OpenSense, it's under interface magnifying glass picture, I think. Like in the interfaces overview, and then you click on like the magnifying glass to see more statistics, and then it shows a whole bunch of stuff. So did it not get a v6 PD and it's just not telling me, or because I don't have any I have a system log, I guess. Can I search for DHCP? No. DHCP 6. And I really wish they didn't get a PD. Okay. So why didn't it get a PD? Or no, we're not doing that. I can just set up static routes. That's easier. Not 211, just 2. Yeah. No, don't save it. Okay, shell. What is your... You generated a random ULA prefix. Okay. Let's run IP. That's not it. It is FDEB /60 via... What is your link local address? Why do you not show LLAs here? You are FE80 EAF6, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what address did I get now? I got fdeb that crap. Okay. Didn't work. Yeah, it's under the magnifying glass. I don't like testing jumbo frames because it's not a configuration a lot of people realistically can use. How does it look so far? All good with delivery. I'm sorry I messed up your ordering system by ordering in the US round from the EU. It's been working fine. I'm trying to work through how to set up OpenWRT to do what I want. The hardware offloading has been super cool on IPv4, so we're trying to set that up on IPv6. My network at home is not fully set up in Finland because this is going to be my new home router after I'm done testing it. So I don't really have a good home router yet. I don't have an OpenSense box. So yeah, it's fun. Firewall probably blocks ping to LAN. I don't think firewall blocks... Does firewall block anything by default? Oh, okay, yeah, we're just gonna set you to accept, and then we're gonna delete all the rules. There we go. Yeah, so OpenWRT was blocking ping. You can block subsets of ICMPv6. The most common ICMPv6 block is to allow related packets, if the firewall allows that. Yeah, I've been on our Discord. I'm number 59. Okay. see if that works. I probably could ping the other way. That's a lot of IP6A. Probably could ping the other way. macOS requires a sudo to use ping. No route to host. Oh, you don't have a default route. Why don't you have a default route? That's a good question. Yes, I have the ISP provided router, and it is not bad. Okay, I think what we need is macOS is not happy with our, where did my, here you went, no, don't merge those, get out of there, come back. Okay, I think macOS is not happy that my ULA address, what's the ISP router called? It's made by Technicolor, I think. Okay, so it's mad about something. So we're going to set you to accept and also accept input. The one thing I don't like is that I seem to not be able to enable bridge mode on it, but that could be because I have to configure that from the ISP side and that config gets pushed over TR069. Not sure about that. Traffic rules, no rules. Okay, so these are all accept. That should be good. Yeah, it is DOCSIS. That's what I have. So I'm going to go and, because I can't figure out the prefix delegation, or it's broken, we are going to use, how did you come up with this? We're going to use my address, 2AOF B240 1000, what are we going to be, 1067 6969/1/64. See how this works. I'm thinking macOS doesn't like my ULA address. That's my guess. So we're going to route to this. At 48 via, what is your link local? FE80, that guy. Okay, that works. So now, did the N20 get an address? It did. Okay, so that's a 2AOF address. That is my own IPv6 address, by the way. Okay, that works. So now I should be able to get to your address. And not take a weird path, I hope. So now let's try iPerf. Okay, so this is V6. We are getting 9.28 gigabits, which is exactly what I would expect. And top is showing, oh, I probably need to do T300. Okay, so I'm expecting not a lot to happen here if the hardware offload works. Yeah, so I'm wondering why I can't get a prefix delegation, but it could also be my ISP router being weird. So I'm not going to blame the model for any of that. It's just weird setup. Yeah, so we're doing 10 gig single-ended over v6. And if we flip it to BiDear, we're getting about 16 gigabits. And we're not using any CPU at all, so it's all hardware offload. So should I try increasing my MTU? I guess it doesn't hurt. So let's go over to U. Well, it does hurt, because then I have to change my MTU on Proxmox. I don't want to mess with that. Okay, we're not going to do that. So what else should we play with now? Where the default traffic rules aren't there? I'm guessing the traffic rules disappeared when I deleted the other stuff. There are no rules here. Or maybe not. Maybe there are rules here. Real-time graphs. Fancy. Okay, so what else could legacy rules do to multi-WAN? Okay, so why do we have multi-WAN at all? We're going to get rid of multi-WAN. MWAN 3. Remove. Yes. Why can't I like queue a bunch of things to remove? I want to, no, shut up. Log me out. I guess I don't uninstall both of them. Okay, so no more MWAN 3. Maybe that module was causing my prefix delegation problem too. Or maybe not, I don't know. Whatever. So I'm not going to be running this with... My long-term hope is to build an image based on either Alpine or Debian. I prefer not using... I prefer something with systemd, which would be like Debian or Arch or something. So, because I actually really like systemd. Don't know about you guys. So I could try to build a custom Debian base for their ASK kernel. Or I could do Alpine because it's closer to OpenWRT. Or I could stick with OpenWRT and do my own packages. But, yeah, I have options. Is my whole network an IPv6? Yes. PCAP DHCP. Yeah, that's a good idea. So I'm not running anything now. -I, ETH4, and ICMP v6. DSP dump not found. Okay. Can't DSP dump. Is it just ICMP 6? Yeah, okay. So now let's restart this interface. Bring it back up and see what's going on. Okay, now I've got that back. Okay, so in TCP dump we got RS, RA, and never do DHCP. Oh, yeah. So I look for ICMP. DHCP 6. No, you're right. It's not ICMP. Oh, why don't I just dump it all to a file? That's probably easier. Or remote Wireshark. You're watching like the how I work live. Okay. Remote Wireshark. SSH dump. No, stop. Configure. You are going to be 192.168.101, port 22, capture, ETH4. Authentication, root, no password. Go. What? 2.1.3.1.1, root, no password. Yeah, of course you can do this. Can't find a valid authentication. Let's try your v6 address then. See what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so in that case, the firewall stopped me. Can't find valid authentication. You should be root with no password. Maybe it's trying key-based auth. I'm SSH'd in right now. SSH'd in. I don't have an authorized keys file. Yeah, so I have console here, which is serial console, and then I also have OpenSSH, which I just set up once I got everything else sorted. So I have SSH. Why can I not log in as root no password? I have status WAN 6. Route. So I didn't get a prefix. So why didn't we get a prefix? It's a question. It's doing something dumb. So where is the drop bear? Where is drop bear config located? Kind of hate drop bear. There we go. We fixed that problem. Did we? What time is it for me? It is 10:36 p.m. Tomaž! Oh, that sounds fun. SE config drop bear. Okay. Here, password auth. I don't have a password. Okay, well, my password's test now. Okay, so it just didn't like that I didn't have a password. That makes sense, I guess. Okay, so we want IPv6 and DHCPv6. Okay, so now go back here and restart the interface. What's going over here? Hi, Tomaž. Hi, Maurice. Yeah, so if you want to send me a link to the OpenSense image you're currently working on, I would be happy to flash that. I'm all set up for it. Okay, so it looks like... Okay, I'm not getting anything back. Doing solicit over and over and over. Okay. So I bet I'm getting the address via Slack. So I want to look for a router advertisement. Okay, so router advertisement, Internet Control Meshes Protocol v6, RDNSS. So we have manage bit set, other bit set. Okay, so DHCP should be available with manage bit set. RDNSS, prefix information, on link. So we're allowed to slack, makes sense. Route pref default medium and source link layer address. Okay, that all looks normal. So then if we go to DHCP v6, okay, solicit, so it's asking for IANA and IAPD, which makes sense. What are we getting back? Rebind. That's not your right address. So it doesn't look like it's getting a response at all. I'm sure that's part of the problem. Do you have any filtering going on that might cause something like this? I don't think I do. I'm going to switch back over to the web UI for my router, and we'll see if they're doing anything weird there. I just reboot the router, then I'd lose my webcast though. What is wrong? Back to Wi-Fi. There shouldn't be an iPhone on the... Oh, there could be an iPhone, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So it is just soliciting over and over and over and getting nothing, I guess, is what that means. So the address we got was via Slack, not via DHCP, which makes sense. Connection, local. So I'll disable the DHCP v6 server and then re-enable it. Okay, so that's done. Back in Wireshark. Can I make you restart the interface? Okay, so DHCP should be going wild now. So you're asking for a prefix delegation, you're asking for IANA, your host name is OpenWRT dot, and you requested a bunch of option codes. Okay. And again, we're not getting anything back. That's kind of weird. Okay, so I guess it's my network. I'm not going to diagnose that further. But we got everything else working now, I think. Probably. So what else do I want to test? So I did Oh, I should add some firewall rules. I just deleted them all. Let's go back and fix the firewall. Network, firewall. Okay, so now I have the firewall set up, but it should still allow everything. I think Tag is packaged nicely. It's still an older, slightly older version though. It's 0.9.5 instead of 0.9.6, which I don't remember if that has the. I could just install it and see what options it has. Can you still ping? Yeah, okay. So firewall's happy. So now that I have firewall enabled, can I see firewall stats with the, like with sessions? Probably this one, connections. Yeah, so this is everything going on. If I go here and start my iPerf again, oh, we have greatly reduced throughput down to very little. What did we do to do that? Is it because we have the firewall? Flow offloading type. Hardware flow offloading. Let's try that. Not great. So let's switch you back to accept and delete my 2 zones. Then does my throughput go back up again? No, okay, something else is broken. Oh, it's because it connected on Wi-Fi. That's what's broken. Sorry, that was my bad. Well, set you back up how you used to be. So LAN, save, WAN, WAN, allow to LAN, allow to LAN. Set that back up. There we go. Okay, so that was my bad. I had Wi-Fi turned on still. Okay, so firewall, we're hitting in the range of 16 gigabits with the firewall enabled but set to be very permissive. So if I look at real-time graphs, do I have... Just wondering if bandwidth shows up here, because it looks like it doesn't. 4. Oh no, it does, okay. Doesn't show up on BR LAN. Shows up on E3 and shows up on E4. Okay. I guess BR LAN is my own traffic to and from the network. I guess that makes sense. So that's showing up still. Okay, so we got 52.1 going on. So it looks like the packet rate is not getting updated for hardware offloaded flows, but that's fine. I'm not terribly upset about that. Oops, not system log. Firewall. Here you have... I guess that was the connection table I got. So now what happens if I add a rule to traffic rules? So we're going to TCP, source zone, LAN, destination zone WAN, 5201, reject. Okay, connection refused. Nice. So now if I go here and change that to accept, actually I can change it to drop. That'll probably start showing differently. Yeah, now it's just trying there. So we go and I say accept. Okay, so firewall is actually firewalling despite being hardware offloaded. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that. Okay, so Tomaž is working on a OpenSense build, so we're going to try that when he's ready. Oh, Taiga. I want to try Taiga. Software. So I want to see what version we have already. So we'll install that. So that depends on... ton. Lib. Well, I don't think we need libbpf for Taiga, but apparently we do. Let's go ahead and install that. So we have 0.95R1. So does it have a UI? I don't think it does. Wrong console. No, I didn't. I blamed my own router in the closet, so I'm not going to deal with it anymore. Is there just like no default config for Taiga? Prefix NAT 6459B 96. What other config options do I want? See if that works. Sounds like good options. Oh, I want to log all to log. I think that's good. Okay, so it does not like tundev tun. Oh, the other option I wanted to check was UB checksum mode forward. Okay, so we don't support tun route, tun up, tun IP. We don't support tundev. What is the Taiga option for tundev? Yep, spelled it wrong. Ton device. Okay, you're up. I guess we'll tell you to daemonize. Oh, great, PC box. Okay. So Taiga's up and running. NAT64 is up. IP setup dev NAT64. IP route at 192.168.240.0/20. Dev NAT64. IP route at 64FF9B. Here we go. Let's explore. Okay, so this version is 0.9.5, which does have the UDP checksum mode forward fix. So if I go into my Taiga conf, UDP checksum mode forward, this means to forward packets with a 0 UDP checksum, which is a big limiting factor in supporting Wi-Fi calling, because IPsec often doesn't checksum its UDP packets. I'm trying to think if there's any fixes in newer versions you guys would care about. 0.9.5 was a pretty good version, I think. So yeah, that's cool. So now that must mean that I here can probably do the same thing. Yeah, I can, okay. So that all worked out great. Is Taiga packaged nicely? Yes, it is packaged nicely, but there's no web UI as far as I can tell. Which seems kind of on par for OpenWRT for me. Should we upgrade Taiga anyway? Let's try that. Remote HTTPS is not a GET command. What the fuck? How is that not a GET command? Oh my god. How can you package GET and not include that? Okay. We'll try the AI. What does the AI say? Get HTTP. Oh my god. Why can you not just package get HTTP along with get? Like, when are you ever going to install get without HTTP? Okay. There we go. I'm unable to find lib pthread. Oh, we get rid of pthread. Oh. Before I get rid of Taiga, I'm going to see what my performance is. So 192.168.0.2 should be listening for iPerf. Can you connect, or did I break that? Probably going to have to turn the firewall off. IP link set up again. Oh, you're right, yeah. I forgot to do that. Wrong terminal. Oh, I broke NAT. I deleted my NAT rule when I turned off the firewall. IPv4 masquerade. Okay, let's see how this goes. Problem is I need firewall to do NAT. There we go, that was my problem. Okay, so now here, you should work. Okay, so I'm getting 500 megabits per second with Taiga 9.5. And if we're on top here, I will probably see Taiga as pegging the CPU, which totally makes sense. So now, I need libpthread. How do I get libpthread dev? Okay. So apparently I'm not supposed to link, not supposed to just call lpthread. Okay, so new version, I can have it do the ton routes on its own. It's supposed to be /taiga.conf. Okay. Okay, so start 4 worker threads. Cool. So what is our performance with Taiga now? 800 megabits per second. Okay, so we are now multi-threaded. I need another terminal. And it is Taiga. Should we try more workers? Try more workers. I don't know. 16 workers. Okay, we'll restart you. That made it worse. Okay. So using the number of workers equals the number of CPU cores probably made more sense. Okay. So I'm getting more performance out of Taiga, I guess main. It's not a release yet, but it supports multi-threading, so it's not terrible. Oh, this guy, WKKF strict no. If you add that to the config, then you won't have that restriction. I also fixed the bug in the old Taiga where it treated everything as that started with 64 FF9B, because for a while in OpenSense, anything that started with 64 FF9B was treated as the well-known prefix, even the 64 FF9B:1/48. So that's fixed too. I like using WKPF strict no because I like using the well-known prefix for all my IPv4 stuff. But that's just me. Also, the workers did not come to FreeBSD, so the Linux ton tap adapter supports opening multiple handles to the same ton device and using them for multi-queue. And then when you do that, packets get hashed to the different queues. So in this case, workers 16 would create 16 threads. Each of them would open their own handle to the ton device, and then the kernel would hash the packets and send them to one of the 16 queues. FreeBSD doesn't support that, so on FreeBSD, workers does nothing. It's still single-threaded. I could try, I guess. No, I should just stick with what I have already in FreeBSD. So sorry about that on FreeBSD, but the kernel doesn't support multi-queue like Linux does, so no multi-threading for you. There's an RFC that's suggesting packet steering. I'm not sure. There's an RFC suggesting using 192.0.0.8 as the source address for NAT64 ICMP translation. And so in Taiga uses its own address for that, so I set it to 192.0.0.8. And so that would be a pretty reasonable default in OpenSense as well. And then you actually don't need to set up an address on the ton interface, at least on Linux. So on Linux, I have, so like if I say IPA, oh, the ton interface is down because Taiga is not running. So we'll start Taiga. If I run IPA, no. So the client CLAT range is 192.0.0.0/29. So .0 through .7 are reserved for the CLAT. .8 is not part of that subnet, so there is an RFC proposing we use .8 as the fake source address. So if a router sends back like an ICMPv6 too big, Taiga translates that to an ICMPv4 too big, but I might not be able to translate the router's address. And that's fine. So if that happens, Taiga uses its own address as the return. And so the RFC suggesting using that return address would mean that Taiga should use the address 192.0.0.8 as its own address. And so Taiga only uses that address for two things. One is the fake source, if it can't translate an ICMP error, and the other is to respond to pings. So I don't see any reason why you wouldn't use that address as Taiga's own address. And then that's not a reserved RFC 1918 address because 192.0.0.0 is not a reserved space. So you can use that in the well-known prefix always. So yeah, but here in IPA, I didn't add any addresses to the TUN device at all. I don't know if BSD requires that, but on Linux you don't need an address to send packets. So I do IPR. So I have my Taiga range via devNat64, and then there's no link source because there's no address on that interface. Same with IP6R. I have 64FF9B routed, but I didn't add an address on it. So I don't have to waste any address regions with that point-to-point link to Taiga. That's another optimization I guess I've been configuring. What are you mad about now? Oh, I killed off Taiga. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so FreeBSD supports for AF2. Yeah, so FreeBSD has actually supported NAT64 for a long time in IP firewall, IPFW. It will just choose the source address. Yes, so the kernel will choose the source address from a different interface if there's not one on the interface. But there's no reason for it to be sending packets from the NAT64 interface unless they're ICMP errors, which would be like trace route, I guess. If you trace the route through NAT64, you'll end up with a response from the router as a V6 router, you'll end up with a response from Taiga, and you'll end up with a response from the router as a V4 router. Can you show it in traceroute? Yes. macOS traceroute requires sudo. Okay. It makes sense. So I'm guessing I want to take the time to translate these. So this is my own address. Actually, no, this is the... So this is the first hop. This is the mono router as a V6 router. And C008, that's Taiga as a router. And then C0A87A is the mono as a V4 router. And then C0A81 is my home network. So this would be, so this is 192.0.0.8. And this is 192.168.0.7a. So that's the mono gateway as a V4 router. And then 192.168.0.1, that's my home router. And this guy would be A2D4001, which I guess would be the first router on my ISP. That's kind of a weird way of writing it. Where are you? A2D4001. So 0A would be 10. 2D would be 45. So 10.45.64. Okay, so my ISP is using the 10 range for their own routers, which I guess makes sense. And these are across the internet. So that's what a NAT64 traceroute looks like. If I try the opposite though, macOS does have a native CLAT, and I can turn it on. But it might interrupt my connection to you guys that are looking in WebRTC right now. macOS was the first to have a native CLAT, and it works amazingly well. So does iOS and iPadOS and all those other variants. But it won't turn itself on if we have native IPv4. I don't really want to mess with that right now because my screen capture is working. Oh, I should plug my laptop into power. Yes, the new CLAT and Network Manager. So that was started by Mary, and I guess finished by the rest of the OpenWRT devs. Really cool. I've been following it for a while. I think it's doing everything correctly as far as I know. So they have an implementation in eBPF, which handles, I think it handles ICMP and everything like that correctly. I'm getting emails. Who's sending me emails? I get emails all the time, by the way. So many emails. "21 emails, oh my god. Are any of them good? I don't think so. Yeah, okay. Back to you guys. Real-time firmware builds. Okay, so Tomaž has a new... I'm going to switch back to this camera so you guys don't see my Discord. Tomaž has a new build on firmware. Okay, so I believe the path to do this is I boot into recovery, and then from recovery I set up IP, and then I copy the image onto... He's literally telling me on Discord how to do it. So that's build instructions. I don't care about build instructions. Build kernel. Sample image. Boot into recovery Linux. Okay, so we're going to boot into recovery Linux. Which means I need my serial port back, which means I got to switch off 10 gig. Actually, I have to switch off 10 gig anyway, no matter what I do. I think. Okay, so let's bring back the serial port. Switch you here. Hello. Need to poke the fuck off Windows. Oh no, did I lose? Yeah, I lost my stream again. Let's fix that. Here we go. So I need to poke the reset button, which means I need to get a pokey tool. Oops. Come on. Okay. I'm gonna run recovery. Recovery's coming up. The table is not unstable. I think it is that the glass is hitting this. It does move a little bit. Recovery login root, no password, IP link setup dev. Are the interfaces the same in recovery? Looks like it. Okay, so now I need to I'm going to flip you back over here so you guys don't see my Discord server. I'm going to my Tomasz's Discord server. So we're going to copy text. So I'm going to curl that gz, pipe that into hello everyone. Okay, so we curl, pipe into gunzip, pipe into dd. Cool. Curl verified. Okay. What's the curl command? No SSL verify. What is it? Okay. So this is wiping my mono gateway and installing OpenSense. Tomaž, while you're here, what is the default interface config on OpenSense? Or Maurice, I guess. Both of you probably know. Specifically, which one is defaulting to LAN? Yep. Because I am going to have to hook that up soon. I heard about the interfaces being in the wrong order. And it doesn't bother me at all. I have looked at so many mini PCs that have weird interface orderings, I don't really care. But, which one do I plug into? And should I be on 10 gig or 1 gig for the first test in OpenSense? One, 2, 0, 3, 4. Okay. Are you done? Oh, I should have done O flag as direct. Now I think I'm waiting on DD to finish. Alright? Am I? So currently I have 4 connected to WAN, and I have 3 and, well, I guess 4 and the real number 2 connected to WAN. I'll boot it up and see what I get. I think I can test from the OpenSense serial console. Okay. Okay, we ended up in recovery. Why did we end up in recovery? I have no idea. Shit. Stop it. I can't look back at the history because I can't look back at the history. Try rebooting again. Okay. Can't get kernel image. Did I do it wrong? Got to update U-boot environment first. Okay, I should read the... Okay, set env. Save env. Okay. Okay, OpenSense is coming up. Not sure if I'm going to end up using OpenSense long term because of, well, if I was just doing a home router, I probably would, even a home lab router. But I have my ASN now, and so I need a bunch of tunnel interfaces out to pause for an ask for interface config. No lags, no VLANs. WAN interface, DTSEC4. LAN interface, DTSEC3. Yes, okay. Yeah, so since I have my AS number now, I have a whole bunch of tunnel interfaces to my different servers in different places around the world. And I'm doing BGP to them all, which means I need to set up like a relatively complicated routing environment. Okay, so given that that's done, I'm going to switch back over to my 10 gig. And you might lose me, or you might not, I don't know. ASN. I have an AS number, so it's like I have my own IP space, IPv6 space. That's mine. So it's not something that many individual people do, but I have a bunch of routers around the world. They're doing BGP peering, and I want to do that at home. I could use 2 routers, yeah. It's just way easier for me to use the same scripts on Linux to set up all the different routers. Okay, so this is coming up. Okay, so now I should go to 192.168.101. Page not found. Okay, that's fun. There we go. Wizard looking figure. Yes, wizard. OpenSense. IMN. EE. Helsinki. Next. Sure, you can stay 1.1. Okay. No IPsec. I like IPsec. I know people hate IPsec, but maybe because there just used to be so many more options to worry about. Like security-wise, there's only like 2 or 3 options you should ever consider running like in 2026. And it's not fully ported. Yeah, I understand. Okay, so now if I turn off Wi-Fi, you're going to lose a connection to my... Aren't you? Okay, so now I got to bring you back. Hold on a second. When I turn off Wi-Fi, I lose my connection to Video Ninja, which is doing my live streaming, and that broke. Okay. So why did it break? Should have a LAN to any rule. Okay, I'm going to to turn Wi-Fi back on so I can continue live streaming. Well, we're running OpenSense now. So why is the WAN interface not coming up, is the question. It is a fancy little router. So in Linux, we were getting like 16 gigabits or so. Hardware offloaded, v4 NAT, v6 firewall. So not just routing, like MikroTik can hardware offload on a lot of their stuff. Routing, but that doesn't do firewalling, and this can do firewalling really fast. Okay, so I switched it to RJ45, and it came right up. Okay, that's interesting. So it didn't like my SFP interface. So now that that is back up, I can try to bring my screen sharing back. And then, shit. I thought I had it this time. Well, I don't have screen sharing now, so sorry about that. How do the LEDs look? Green. So I got green on both 3 and 4, and then I got blinking orange on 3. So when I changed the WAN to be on DTSEC 0, which is Ether 2, it came up just fine. MikroTik doesn't do VTI. No, they don't. So I don't know. Well, can't really show you my screen because that's broken until I get this fixed. I'll try assigning it back to DTSEC 4. It shows in OpenSense the interface is up. Or not up, but connected. So OpenSense is reloading config. I am in interface assignments right now. I wish I could show you this really badly. Let's see if I can bring my screen cap back. Hold on a second. Get my screen cap back. Once it gets connected, it'll stay connected. I just got to get... Oh no, I unplugged the wrong cable. I unplugged that one. Okay, so once I get the screen cap started, it should be able to stay. Okay, there we go. So hopefully this stays. So here's what I got now. So I got DTSEC 0 is, currently it's refresh. Unassigned. So then DTSEC 4 is WAN, and it's not getting anything. Somehow you still have default routes from when you were different. So I go to assignments and I change that to DTSEC 0. I have both of those connected to the same network. So I got 10 gig fiber and I also have 1 gig copper, both connected. So either one, oops, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to switch to DTSEC 0. Okay, so now overview. Got an IPv4, got an IPv6, got a route. So under WAN, I have, I'll switch it back and see what it shows there. So DTSEC 4 is supposed to be my WAN, 10 gig WAN. Come on. Also, for everyone, I'm planning on ending the stream at midnight my time, so I got about half an hour. Because I do have to sleep. And for those of you that joined late, sorry the video quality is shit. My fancy camera doesn't want to act as a webcam, it just wants to record things to the SD card. So you have my nicest webcam. But you got my nice microphone at least. That's something, right? Okay, what is going on here? Try that again, save. How many people do I have? I haven't checked like for a long time. 133. Looks like I've been averaging about that many. Okay, that's cool. Give it a reboot. Sure, we'll reboot it. Should I reboot it nicely or meanly? How should I? We'll do it nicely. 6, reboot system. Yes. Oh wow, the fan has spooled up like a tiny jet engine. I do know what jet engines sound like. I used to work for a jet engine company, fun fact, where I did shadow IT, and the IT people were probably not happy with me. Because a lot of our fancy test equipment and development equipment started moving from like parallel ports, USB, whatever, to Ethernet. And I would manage the Ethernet for that. Yeah, it makes sense. A lot of servers do the same thing. I just didn't see that on Linux. So on Linux, the fan seemed to be happy throughout the whole boot process. Whereas on OpenSense, it's spooling up and then coming back down. Okay, so I guess I'll wait for all this to get happy. What SFP am I using? So on LAN, DTSEC 3, I have a DAC, a direct attached cable, and this is just a 10 gig basic DAC from, this was actually from 10G Tech. On the WAN, I have an fs.com 10G LR optic, so like this super basic. And it's probably coded for Intel because I usually buy them all Intel coded because Intel is the bane of my existence for the hardware that I own. And MikroTik doesn't care. I can switch the optic out, I have more optics, but that probably isn't going to help, I'm guessing. Okay, so we seem to be coming up. We didn't get an IP on DTSEC 3 or DTSEC 4. So I'll come back over here. OpenSense, don't save password. Overview, got nothing. So we got here WAN. So I'm gonna have a private IP. I know that already. Do I need to change the hardware settings? Probably not. Any more from you? Let's see. So we will do static v4 192.168.0.67/24. I need to make a gateway on my own, don't I, if I do this? Or I just have access. Yeah, I need to make a gateway on my own. Whatever. Let's see if it at least comes up now. Okay, so if I come to you, can I get a shell? I'll do 7 ping. $133. Okay, so it's pinging on LAN, but not on WAN. So I'm gonna go back over here and I assignment move you guys to GTSEC 0. Well, I guess first off I can see if I can at least get gigabit to work. ifconfig-v. Okay. So DTSEC 4. So that one's accepting router advertisements. Makes sense because that's a LAN. Well, yeah. So it's accepting router advertisements. That makes sense. So you have media on DTSEC 0. I don't have on 3 or 4. Okay. Yeah, I can do any other tests you want. Feel free to message me too on Discord. I am going to go to sleep in like 15 minutes, but so that is up. So I should be able to ping. Okay, so I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi. You guys might lose my stream. You did. Okay. Whatever. Okay, so iPerf, I am getting gigabit. Oh, you came back. Oh, nice. Okay, so we're doing gigabit symmetric. And we are utilizing, where's CPU? Not much. Load average, not very high. Okay. So that seems to be working. So not sure why. Could try different transceiver. Yeah, hardware offloading seems to work. That's pretty cool. NAT too. This graph feels like it's responding weirdly, but I guess it's just has a low scale. It makes sense to me if it was up to 100%. Yes, what is the one more tip? PHP. Everyone loves PHP. Yeah, so because the max is 21, it makes me think the CPU is spiking up. But if the max were just hard-coded 100%, I think that would make sense to me visually. Yeah. It just looks intimidating because it's the max scale of the graph. Top right of the dashboard. This one? Okay, what do you want to add? Hardware monitor, okay. Did it go to the bottom? Looks like it went to the bottom. Oh, cool. So this is all the hardware from the mono unit. I'll get rid of some of this other junk. I actually kind of like the other junk. USB power delivery, we're taking 20 volts. Fan is at 32%. Temperatures, okay. Is this get pushed into like any of the monitoring plugins in OpenSense? Like I haven't used it recently, but I used to use the InfluxDB plugin. I'm trying to think of the name of the collector. What's InfluxDB's like data collector? Okay. So we'll save that. Okay, so it seems to be running pretty well now. So this is probably the last test I'll do tonight, because I only got 13 minutes before I'm going to definitely sign off for sure. So if you guys have anything else you want to see on the Mono Gateway on OpenSense, I'm not going back to Linux in 13 minutes. Or if you want me to look at any of the hardware in detail or anything, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Chat. I'm supposed to call you guys chat, aren't I? Here, I'll flip to this camera view. Oh, I'm out of focus again. Why does this always do this to me? Telegraph, you're right. Telegraph is the one I want. Why can you not focus? Okay, it focused on its own. Is Hardware Pro available? I have no idea. No, I'm throttled by 1 gig interface, so I couldn't get the 10 gig NIC to work for me. Taiga and OpenSense. I could do Taiga and OpenSense. So, let's see, I think I have to install it. Not sure if it's compiled. Firmware plugins. Not sure how plugins are going to go. That's a good thought. Does it run Vios? No. Although in theory you could compile it with Yocto based on Tomaž's kernel. Okay, so Tomaž says plugins won't work. But, well, no, I won't bother trying to hack it tonight. Okay, so no plugins yet. That was the interface issue. Tomorrow I'm not going to be working on this because I have a different video I'm working for this week. No, it is not x86, so it's ARM. So tomorrow I'm hanging out with the local makerspace, and we're going to make cool stuff that hopefully you guys will see on video in the next couple days. So this guy will stay here on the table until I come back to it. I could try different optics. I have some other optics I could try. I could try to find another DAC. I don't know if I have any more 10 gig DACs. Can I run CHR? Probably not. But you could probably do work to make it work. But you wouldn't have hardware offloading. Maybe in my next, not today, maybe my next test will be trying some of the Wi-Fi stuff. So, I have a couple Wi-Fi cards I could test with. This is more WireGuard, yes. That's done entirely in software. I don't think there's any hardware offloading. Let's see if I can find what the ASK claims to support. Reporting, these. Looks like no. There's OpenWRT ships by default, and OpenSense is optional. So those are your two. Let's see, is this the ASK? Okay, so what is the ASK offload? So forwarding engine can do NAT, firewall, IPsec. Okay. So it looks like the ASK can support hardware offload IPsec, but not WireGuard. Although Tomaž has said that it's not ready yet, at least on OpenSense. Is it ready on Linux, by the way, Tomaž? If I were to go back to OpenWRT, could I... could I be dynamic ENS? No, my IPv6 prefix never changes. It's dynamic, but it hasn't changed in 7 months. 9 months. It hasn't changed in 9 months. So is IPsec offload working on Linux, but not FreeBSD, or is it not working on either one yet? Yeah, so WireGuard then would hit up the general vector extensions on the CPU. So it should work, but it won't be hardware offloaded. Which makes sense to me. I'm not using WireGuard for my tunnels anyway. Most of my tunnels use IP, so that might... I'm not sure if that one would hardware offload. Okay, so correct in that IPsec is... So is IPsec hardware offload working on Linux, but not FreeBSD? I think I asked too many questions for the 10-second delay or whatever. Okay, so if we want hardware offload, we need IPsec, which makes sense to me. I am not opposed to that. So that means I should probably switch to doing IPsec tunnels for my tunnels instead of IP. because IP won't hardware offload. I could do PPPoE. No, that wouldn't work. KVM. I don't know. I'm on OpenSense, so there won't be any virtualization on OpenSense. But well, I guess it depends on what the kernel's compiled with. It's like, yes, the hardware should support KVM, but is it compiled into the OpenWRT kernel? I guess it would be that OpenWRT didn't compile it in because they seem like the kind of people that wouldn't compile it, but it's also a Tomaž's kernel, not OpenWRT's kernel, so I don't know. Okay, so here's the Layerscape processor. So a forwarding engine can do IPsec, NAT, bridge, Ethernet, PPPoE, VLAN. I'm going to go to his GitHub. So here's his GitHub. How's the name of the wire without hardware offload? I have no idea. ASK. So these are their ASK patches. I guess I'll look at all the repos. Oh, they're building Nix OS. Yeah, I hate PPPoE, but I understand some ISPs still use it because of reasons. Maybe it's just because Germany still loves DSL. I don't know. Metamono. Oh, PPPoE. I don't have PPPoE, so it's not a big deal for me. I know some people do. I feel bad for them. Germany still loves fax. I think the thing in the UK that's going on is that, and probably also some other countries as well, is that they have a separate company that operates the layer 2 network versus the layer 3 internet service. So like in the UK you have OpenReach. And so OpenReach is providing the layer 2 circuit over GPON. And then whatever ISP you have on top of OpenReach is providing the layer 3 service. So they're using PPPoE to tunnel over the layer 2 provider. Now that doesn't mean they have to do it that way, but it means they do for whatever reason. I believe Germany has a similar split where, at least in some parts of Germany, I've heard there's shared fiber providers. Some providers, I mean, with PPPoE, in theory, you don't have to separate all of the customers onto their own VLAN when they come off the PON. I don't have 200 megabit. Sorry, I misspoke. I have 25 megabit. So I have 300 down and 25 up. And how does Taiga reach higher speeds? Yes, it does. So Taiga is bound by packets per second, not bytes per second. But if you're on Taiga on Linux, you're now multi-threaded as well, which can help. Not for single TCP streams, but it can help in other ways. Yeah, I know in Switzerland there's one ISP that does 25 gig. So if you don't do PPPoE, the best practice is to segregate users onto a different layer 2 domain per customer. And that means running a whole bunch of VLANs across the PON network, which is not a problem. But if you don't run the PON network, it can be more challenging to interact with the separate, like 2 companies talking to each other over the layer 2 handoffs is much easier with PPPoE. It's always leased line. I don't know, I might be able to get my own fiber here. I think I talked about it earlier, but I pay 30 euros a month for 300/25 cable, which is the best I can get. I'm part of a condo, so I can't modify like the outside of the building without the condo. So the association's trying to go in on a contract for fiber, and the cable company offered us fiber, which is actually just fiber to the cabinet. So it's hybrid fiber coax. We get coax into the unit. And they're going to charge us, I think including installation, we're up to about 10 euros a month. So that includes adding the new hybrid fiber coax amplifier in our mechanical room. That's for all the units. And if we were willing to pay €5 more a month for 15 euros a month, we could get 100 symmetric real fiber XGS PON. But the association, none of the other units want to pay the extra 5 euros a month because they're happy tethering their phone to their TV to watch Netflix, and they don't know why they should pay 10 euros to begin with for cable internet. So that's how life is here. Maybe someday I will have real XGS PON because it's already at the street, but I need the association to approve bringing it into the unit, and the fiber company won't do it unless they can run fiber to all the units. So they don't want to roll the truck and send an installer unless they're installing it to all 5 units in the building. Yes, we get unlimited 5G, and there's a tower about 3 houses away, so it's actually really fast. Not as fast as cable, and not as fast as fiber would be, but we do get unlimited 5G, so. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye to you guys now. I had a good time, so the Mono Gateway is still going to chill here. I might try to do a custom Linux build with Yocto, because I don't like OpenWRT, but that will not be that soon. Don't expect it for at least a couple of weeks for me to come back to this thing. At least publicly come back to this thing. So, good night, everyone. It was fun to hang out with you guys, so I will sign off now. End stream. Goodbye.